Hello everyone, I'm here with Ali Culotta. She's an amazing musician and a good friend of mine, and she's actually acting as producer on this new recording project of mine. So I'm bringing her in today to ask her a few questions about herself and so that all of you can get to know her a little bit better. So Ali, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about your musical background?
Sure. So I, like, all the way from the beginning?
As far back as you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I just grew up always, like, I actually was in choir when I was really young.
Yes.
Up until about, like, I think it was 4th grade that I was singing, and then I saw someone play the piano and it just, like, blew my mind. And so I started taking classical piano lessons in 4th grade. And then I've just stuck with doing it ever since. And then when I was in high school, I started, I mean, I always played classical piano, but, you know, it was like early, you know, late 90s, early 2000s,
yes.
when like punk and
Great
ska
time.
was very, much in the mainstream. So I started like playing in bands with my friends. I joined the jazz band, so a total nerd. Yeah, and then I grew up like in South Florida. So I moved to Miami to do my undergrad.
Right. So studying
classical piano. And then while I was in the conservatory, I just had all these songs and I needed to like find people to write music with. So I auditioned for my now husband's band.
Right.
Only Right Left.
Only Right Left. That's right, kids.
Which was like a surf ska punk band. And I joined the band, and Danny and I have been writing music together ever since. So that's 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very musical path.
Very, very musical, and I continued to play classical piano throughout. I went to grad school, I got my master's.
Right.
But just, I've always, you know, been a lover of ska and reggae and really roots rock steady music, and just an old soul, anything that's like nostalgic.
Right. To an era.
When I get into an artist, I kind of become very obsessive.
All right, take note, everyone.
And then I have to find out who all of their influences are.
Right,
so right now, like, everything I'm listening to is like seriously before the 70s. Yeah.
Right. So I know this, and so that everyone else knows this, obviously a very eclectic taste of music.
Right.
Finding something to sort of love and appreciate, like, across the board, basically. So I guess in terms of, you know, this EP that I'm working on and my own sort of like soulful pop singer-songwriter vibe, how did you, I guess I know, but how do you feel, in your own words, you sort of got involved in this project?
Well, we were working together in other projects, and then I believe like you showed me your music and I saw you perform live before, and like after hearing your voice, it was really reminiscent of some of those singers that I absolutely adore.
Do you hear that? You hear that?
It was really a very warm, soulful sound.
I'm gonna take her everywhere. She's gonna describe my voice. Forget PR. I'm taking Ali.
And I've told you before that I feel like your music is really reminiscent of like R&B and this like really there's a lot of influences there that I hear. And so after hearing it and us working together so much and having so much fun together, I wanted to be involved in the project and see if I could lend my ears and help you to develop the sound that you're going for.
Yeah, and for me, just knowing that you can sort of place themes and ideas to an era and sort of speak to these different genres and pull out these different things. I mean, that's something I love about your musicianship, that I'm just so excited to sort of have you be a part of the project. I guess, is there anything in particular that you're excited about in terms of like working specifically on this project? Anything that you can speak to in that?
Yeah, I think the instrumentation and really in production are key in making a great album.
Right.
You might have a great song, but if you don't know the sound you're going for, it will fall flat.
Right.
So I like kind of diagnosing songs in that way.
Right.
Of like, what can we do to elevate this song? And now going back on like how I'm so influenced by the past, you know, I understand that everyone wants new ideas, and I definitely want new sounds.
Sure.
But I feel like, and this is like going hundreds and hundreds of years back, everyone is always influenced by their predecessors, you know?
Right.
And it's really important to have influences in order to create your own sound.
Right.
I think that it helps to develop better music when you're inspired by other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And maybe no one even knows this, but really up until this point, I've acted as producer on my projects, which is kind of a, you know, it's a fun experience. You're seeing it sort of through the eyes of the person who wrote it, right? But that's why this is so exciting and so special, is that I have this wonderful musician who can lend their ears and creativity to elevate, as you said, the product. And so this is like incredibly exciting for me.
And you know, and like one of my favorite, everyone's favorite producers is George Martin of the Beatles. And I mean, like, here you are, you have these 4 incredible musicians, great talented songwriters, right? Lyrics, the whole shebang, harmonies, all the thing. But when you have this outside voice sometimes saying, hey, you know, Paul, I want you to go on stage and sing Yesterday acoustic by yourself without the band. That was the first time they had ever done that. Because he just heard this song in a different light. Sometimes when you're like, it's your song,
You're too close.
You're too close.
You're too close. Yeah.
So having an outside voice of like, no, you gotta trust me, this is gonna work.
Right.
And I mean, come on, that song Yesterday is everything. And it really tugs at your heartstrings. Can you imagine if they did that song upbeat of like, you know, like their normal...
I cannot.
It wouldn't be the same.
That's a very cool story. Okay, so this is all about Female Artist Friday, right? So, as a female, Ali, can you please shed some light on your experience as a woman in the music industry? Anything specific? Anything?
Sure. I have a lot of stories.
Lots of thoughts.
I do, and they're positive. They're all positive because there are great men in music as well, and I have met great men. As
well, meaning you all know that there are not great men in the music industry. Something to touch on, something to acknowledge.
But I do feel like there's been a huge shift in the past maybe 6 years, 7 years. I feel like in the like 2012, 13, maybe when things started to change a little bit more. Right now I feel like we're in actually a great place as women in the industry. It's like things are really looking up for us.
They're looking up. There's been some good progress, right? We're all looking to have more
and it's a great
platforms. Women are helping women in this industry.
And I think it's across the board. I mean, even in television and the arts, I mean, like women right now, it's like a good time finally to be a woman. Yeah, it's a good time to be a woman.
The future is female, right?
Yeah. But one of the stories that I do want to mention is that two things. One is that be great at your craft as a woman in the industry. Be great at your craft. It was a long time that I just kept hearing, and this is like in my early 20s, oh, you're pretty good at the keys for a girl. Oh, it's like, well, it's not bad for a girl, you know? And it's just like every single time, and you know, I'm the front woman of Stop the Presses, that's my own music project. And it just really irked me because it's like, you know, I'm writing the songs, and I'm up here and I'm singing, I'm pouring my heart out, and you're telling me I'm pretty good.
Right.
And it just really got to me. So I did some serious woodshedding. I learned all of Bob Marley and the Wailers keyboard parts. I learned almost the entire catalog of the Specials, which is another ska band that I really love and adore. So that, yeah, nobody has ever said that to me since. Right. It's been years. I have never heard that. Now when I play, I feel like I get a lot more respect. Right. Because I just did some serious woodshedding and just, I'm not gonna give anyone an excuse to say that. You shouldn't look at me for my gender. You should look at me for my talent. Right. And when people do, and I feel like a lot more men now are looking at me for my talent, now I'm getting the respect that I deserve. Right. I had to put in a lot of hard work, but I feel good. Yeah. And
I mean, this girl is talented AF, so I have a hard time believing that there was ever a time when She was like not incredible. And I do want to place the responsibility too, though, on the men that feel the need to say that you're pretty good, pretty talented, whatever, for a woman. Because this is sort of this double standard, this weird idea that it is a separate scale that we're working on somehow. And I just have to say that I believe you were probably badass back in the day, and you are very badass now.
And it's also education. Absolutely. I mean, men are also learning now that you can't really, like, you can't say that anymore. You know, that's not relevant anymore to say as a woman. Yeah, it really isn't. But I do feel like, I mean, if you just watch old movies and books, you read, you know, it's kind of
jolting.
Yeah, like, it's like really a part of our past.
Yeah,
and now, you know, if you're a mother, you have the responsibility to treat your son and your daughter the same,
right?
And raise them not to think that way,
right?
And I think a lot more people are doing that,
right?
And then the other thing I do want to say, so number one, as a musician, you gotta be a badass. You gotta practice all the time. Mm-hmm. Literally, if I have a day off, I will sit and practice for like 8 hours.
Right.
And you know that.
Yes,
you know,
I do.
Obsessed.
It's kind of wild.
I know, it's nuts. But anyway, the second thing I want to say is support other women.
Yes. Look at what we're doing right now.
It's really
Look what we're doing.
I can't even believe I had to say this.
Right?
But
isn't it sad to like...
It's really sad.
Okay, but it's incredibly important, and that's why we're gonna say
exactly. And you know, and I know that there's like some things that are just human nature, you know, about women and I guess we're all competing for the mate or whatever. That's like in our genealogy.
If that's human nature, who knows where to place this blame? I mean, it could very much be this society. I mean, it is a societal pressure.
It is a societal pressure. I think all of it. But nowadays we're learning that
stronger together. Yeah,
we are stronger together. And hey, and there are going to be women that might be better at you. They're better than you at
there
piano.
Always will be people better than you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They might play better. They might sing better. They might be more beautiful. Whatever it is, but you have to accept that, first of all, accept what they're better than you at.
Yes.
Don't compare. Right. Instead, celebrate it. Celebrate their talents. They're different from yours. You are still special.
You are so special.
And
that is why I'm taking this woman in the studio with me, because she's going to give me all this positive juju that she's shelling out right now. Okay, so you mentioned Stop the Presses.
Right.
This is your project. This is her band. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about where we can learn more about Stop the Presses?
You can definitely learn more about Stop the Presses at facebook.com/stopthepressesmusic. We also have a website, stopthepressesmusic.com. Instagram, Stop the Presses Music. What else? Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good.
And keep up with them too, because they're working on some new stuff that's killer.
We're about to release an album next couple of months. Working with some great people, and got some beautiful harmonies by this one here.
Singing backup vocals on their record.
It's coming out great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wonderful. So at Stop the Presses and at Rachel Lynn Sings to find out everything about this project. Thank you so much for sitting down, Ali. And stay tuned at Rachel Lynn Sings, rachelynsings.com for all info about this recording project. I cannot wait to share this new material with you. Stay tuned. Bye.
This is a